As a player, I think the biggest thing, I think I've gotten more efficient. I would say that's what the biggest thing with Coach Ruffing did this year. Kind of made me understand that being more efficient, sometimes, instead of scoring more points is just as effective. But I would also say this year I was able to get the team more involved. I got my assist up a lot. But then for the most part, I think the biggest thing that helped me was just being more mature on the court, and in the sense of just kind of leading the team and understanding that, there are a lot of the guys, it's their first time around, and obviously I've been here multiple times, so I realize that, anything I can give to them can only help. I think even my first year, when we first got here, I wouldn't say I was shy or anything, but I didn't want to do like overstep or anything, like especially my first real year here. But I think coming back, I talked to Ruffing, and it was kind of something that we had in mind. Obviously, there's certain things I wish I could redo, but at the end of the day, I do think that the team as a whole did kind of get behind me. But at the same time, I tried making them understand that, I'm not no different than them. Like, if they got something they should say, I'll listen just the same way they would always listen to me. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest, coming out of high school, didn't really know too much about Bryan and Stratton or the junior college level at all. With COVID and everything, and then with Coach JT at the time, who was the coach, kind of gave me an idea of what this, kind of the goal is coming here, and understanding that it's, might be a little detour in my what my goals are, but it has nothing, it's nothing negative. And honestly, a big reason why I decided to come back, even with getting a new coach with Coach Ruffing, was I did like being close to home, and I liked having my family being able to come to games. And one thing I realized is, even though it's considered a junior college, it's not really, I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel like I was playing at a JUCO. I mean, when you're in the games, you're in the games, and it feels no different than any other game I played. And I've honestly, truly enjoyed my time here. I tore it here was actually my second time tearing it, so I tore it in my junior year as well in high school. So when it kind of happened again, at first it was very, I was in a little depressed state, just in the sense, like, I worked really hard to get back, and it just happened. It's a freak incident. But the biggest thing I realized was it's pretty much it's perspective, and it's how you look at it. And the first couple months I was very down, but then I realized it's kind of like, it's either I'm gonna do everything I can to get back on the court. But like you said, it's especially when you're already an athlete, it's not so much the physical, it's the mental, seeing all your teammates being out on the court, and just knowing you're not physically being able to do something. So I think at the end of the day it sucked, but I think over time it kind of put life in perspective for me, and that was a big thing. It kind of, just put a smile on my face. It was one of the things I told my mom I would always do, and kind of with last year I felt like I got a little snubbed, but I think that was the biggest thing this year. That was the reason I kept going, and when things were a little tough, and I understood the bigger picture. And there's obviously, I wish you could have made it to nationals, but going out like this, it means the world to me. Coming here, I never planned on that. It's one of those things, you come to junior college, you only want to be here for a year, so it's a very unique thing. And I think it's at first, I don't want to say I was shied away from it, but when it all was going on, and even looking back at it, it's something that I'll always be able to. Hopefully one day someone breaks, and that's the reason why, records are always meant to be broken. But, it feels good to kind of just have something cemented here, and especially because in high school I was around 30 points away from breaking their record. So it kind of just felt good. And that's another thing, like I was saying earlier, I treated Bryan Stratton no differently like my high school, and I think that was a big thing for me, and for my family as well. It was a cool moment when that all happened. Growing up, obviously, I've always wanted to play Division I basketball. But the biggest thing I realized over just being at Bryan Stratton, it's more of a fit. And, you see guys go to just the highest level they can, and it doesn't always work out. So I think the biggest thing I'm just looking for is I want to have a good relationship with all the coaches. I'm really big on relationships. But then at the end of the day, I just want to feel comfortable and be able to be me. So regardless, whatever level that is. And at the end, and I also just want to win a championship. I've been super close to doing that these last 2 years, and it would just mean a lot to do that. I also want to thank Coach JT for recruiting me here. He was the one coach coming out of high school who genuinely believed in me, in the sense would always text me, always reach out to me. And Coach Pete, who was also here, Coach Hoffman, who was here as well, but he's here now. And even with last year's team, Coach Sam, Coach Houston, Coach Keaton as well. I want to thank Ariel, the trainer. She did a lot for me, especially this year playing with a broken wrist. She did a lot for me. And I also want to thank Coach Ruffin for getting the new when he got the jobs, just being able to still believe in me and understanding that, I would be a big part of the team. And, just having someone who believes in you really can go a long way for someone. So I just appreciate that.